Hello YouTube, welcome to the third episode of Crypto Finance. Today I would like to share with you some analysis that I've done. A lot of the smart people often said that investing in crypto today is very similar to investing in the internet during the dot-com bubble. And because of that comparison, I became curious and wanted to find out what would have happened to my money if I were to invest in the internet stocks during the dot-com bubble. Today is the part one of that analysis, and what we are going to do is we are going to look at the return on investment on a scenario one were to invest in the internet stocks right at the height, right at the peak of the dot-com bubble, and that was in March 2000. That was the peak of that bubble. And if you look at this website that I had opened up right here, you will see that the top 15 companies by market cap on the Nasdaq are these companies. So let's see what would happen to your money if you were to buy these 15 stocks in March 2000. Here we go. So first of all, I got the historical price of these stocks from Yahoo Finance, and a few of these stocks are no longer listed on the market. As a result, just to keep things simple, I would just assume that these stocks are no longer have any value. So just looking at the price of these 15 stocks back in March 2000, right at the peak, you would see that a lot of these stocks actually have a much lower stock price today, with a few exceptions, being Microsoft is one of them, Oracle is another one, and this one. So very few actually lasted today. So if you were to invest $1,000 in each one of these stocks, you would end up with this amount of money today. So let's assume that if you were to invest in all the top 15 stocks, you would have invested $15,000, and today your portfolio would only be worth less than half of that original investment. That represents a 51% reduction in the overall investment, or if you were to look at it based on the compounded annual growth rate, that would represent a negative 4% return on your investment year after year for the past 17 years. If you were to instead just invest in the top 5 stocks back in March 2000, today you will end up with roughly almost the same amount of money, just 7% less overall. What about if you were to just invest in the top 3 stocks? You would actually make 15% overall, or just 1% year over year for 15 years. That is not a very lucrative return on your investment, and you would do a lot better just investing perhaps in a safe investment like a saving account. However, instead of just buying those 15 stocks, if you somehow were able to find a very strong fundamental stock like Amazon as an example, your return would actually look a lot better. So in this case, if you were to just invest in the top 15 stocks plus Amazon stock, you would have invested $16,000 across all these 16 companies, and your money would have been increased by over 60%, or just 3% year over year for the past 15 years. And that is actually a lot better than the other scenarios. What about if you were to just invest in the top 5 stocks plus the Amazon stock? In that case, your return on investment would have been 284% overall, or 8% compounded annual growth year over year for the past 17 years. That is actually not too bad of an investment. And lastly, if you were to just invest in the top 3 stocks plus Amazon, you would have invested $4,000 back then, and your money would have grown all the way to almost $22,000, which represent almost 5 times your money, just over 4 times, sorry. And looking at the compounded annual growth rate, that would be equal to 10% growth rate year over year, compounded over the past 17 years, and that is not bad at all. So the lesson from this is that you could try to diversify your investment, and that would most of the time help you in reducing your risk. However, that is not a substitute for actually doing your homework and trying to find a a coin in our case that actually has a strong business or strong fundamental behind it, like Amazon stock. So that's all for today. And in the next episode of Crypto Finance, I will be doing the same analysis, but we will be changing the year to year 1995, because that is where I think we are in terms of the cycle of the cryptocurrencies, comparing to the dot-com cycle back then. So I'll see you next time, and until then, take care, and please leave your comments below, because I would love to hear what you have to say about all this.